around the world. 5 people were reported dead after an Israeli rocket strike hit a building in Damascus on Sunday. Citing a Syrian military source, state media said Israel had carried out targeted airstrikes in Damascus shortly after midnight. Aside from 5 casualties, the strikes injured 15 civilians and damaged several buildings in the densely populated district. Israeli military experts say the strikes are part of an escalation of what has been a low-intensity conflict, whose goal was to slow down Iran's growing entrenchment in Syria. Syrian Foreign Minister Faisal Mekdad said the strike should be considered a crime against humanity. This as the strike took place less than 2 weeks after a deadly quake that left nearly 6,000 dead across the country. The death toll from the massive quake that hit parts of Turkey and Syria has climbed to 46,000. Here are the latest updates. Medical charity Doctors Without Borders has been able to penetrate northwestern Syria. It says 14 of its trucks carrying relief supplies had entered the earthquake-hit area. Authorities have been pressuring leaders in some parts of Syria not to block the aid. Its northwest part, in particular, is controlled by insurgents at war with their president. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken arrived on Sunday in Turkey to discuss how Washington can further assist Ankara as it grapples with the aftermath of its worst natural disaster in modern times. Blinken pledged an additional $100 million in humanitarian aid to Turkey after he toured the earthquake-hit southeastern part of the country. After arriving at Incirlik Air Base, Blinken took a helicopter tour of the quake-struck area with his Turkish counterpart Mevlut Cavusoglu. Blinken later visited an aid logistics center and helped military personnel load humanitarian aid. And Pope Francis offered prayers for the victims of one of the worst earthquakes to hit Turkey and Syria. The Pope urged the Catholic faithful to not forget those who suffer and let their charity be attentive and concrete. Pope Francis prayed also for Ukrainian people and those affected by the cyclone in New Zealand. Some earthquake survivors over in Syria are complaining of inequality in terms of aid distribution. The details in this report by the Associated Press.
تاخذين لقطات الحين ترى
نحن يعطونا مصاري ونحن بنرجع بيوتنا بايدنا، نحن بنساعد حالنا.
يعني هلا لا تأخذين بالكلمة 10 عيال بغرفة واحدة ما في خصوصية. الخصوصية هون ما أنا موجودة بس يعني طبعا بتعرف ما كل الناس عقولها مثل بعضها، ففي شيء بيختلف عن شيء، فممكن لا سمح الله يصير مشاحنات بين العالم لأنه في حدا له يعني هلا أنا مرتي بترضع، عرفت شلون؟ يعني أنا ما برضى يكون زلمة قاعد ومرتي عم بترضع، فهمت شو القصة؟ يعني الخصوصية تبعيتنا معدومة هلا.
تسجيل بيانات يعملونا اياه لحتى يعطونا.
هذا الكراسي بنستلم عليه.
بدنا مصاري، اذا بكون مصاري احسن من معونه يعني بنتحسن. بدنا شغلات نسويها للبيت ما عم نقدر نعمل شيء فيه، يعني بدي غساله بدي كل شيء، يعني ما في شيء بالبيت اللي عم نشتريها اللي عم نجيبها عم ناكل فيها.
We'll be back with more stories after the break. Keep it here in One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Diego Castro. North Korea says its latest intercontinental ballistic missile test was meant to further bolster its fatal nuclear attack capacity. The nation also threatened to take additional powerful steps over upcoming military drills between the United States and South Korea. In response, the U.S. flew long-range supersonic bombers in a show of force for separate joint exercises with South Korea and Japanese warplanes. North Korea has steadfastly slammed regular military drills conducted by South Korea and the U.S. as an invasion rehearsal, although the allies say their exercises are defensive in nature. The Japanese Defense Ministry, meanwhile, confirmed that North Korea's latest missile fell into Japan waters more than an hour after it was launched. They also suggested that the weapon was one of the North's largest missiles.
We will continue to work closely with the United States and other countries to firmly protect the lives and properties of our people. We will do our utmost to collect and analyze information as well as monitor the situation, and we will promptly make an announcement of additional information that should be made public.
Meta unveils its new subscription service called Meta Verified. The feature will allow Instagram and Facebook users to pay to get a blue badge. It will be priced at nearly $12 a month on the web and almost $15 on iOS. Meta Verified is scheduled to be rolled out first in Australia and New Zealand this week. Should artificial intelligence be used for filmmaking? Directors shared their thoughts on this with the Associated Press. Let's listen in.
I'm all for doing no work. You know, if there's a machine that could do my work for me and I get paid the same, do it. And then I'll go get a massage.
Do you think that it takes the human element out of it?
It probably does for comedy. It's hard for computers to write comedy. I've tried, I've asked it, and it did not solve any of my problems.
Why?
No, I did. I said, write this monologue, and it was terrible.
I mean, I think it would be a fun experiment, because in a way, the process of development of script, especially with studio movies, where there's a lot of different, ideas of what you're supposed to do, is kind of like what that is. But it's kind of fascinating. Somebody should do it for sure.
Yeah, no, I'm not interested in directing a movie for the robot rights. No.
I feel like AI is learning how to write from other people's produced scripts that already exist. In a sense, it's like a cut and pasted ripoff of a million other movies you've seen. Which, the complicated argument is that, maybe that's, as a writer, that's what I do as well. I'm influenced by everything that I see.
And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us again at 9 a.m. as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play. Register an account now at signalplay.com so you can stream One News live anytime, anywhere. Coming right up is Agenda at 8 a.m. I'm Diego Castro. We are One News. All sides, all the time.